Hello!
Right, time for some homegrown British crap from the early 90s. And you know it's going to be a good review when I'm having to wear latex gloves for my own protection. Right, say hello to the Amstrad Penpad PDA600. It's user-friendly. Look, it says so, so it must be. Let's quickly explain Amstrad for our American cousins, as they're fairly well ingrained in British culture. I believe it stands for Alan Michael Sugar Trading, because it was started by a man called Alan Sugar, who is now best known for presenting the British version of reality TV show The Apprentice, where he is belligerent towards some weird people who want a job. Amstrad produced a lot of stuff in the 80s and the early 90s, and a lot of it was a bit odd. They had a strange sort of ethos going on where their prices of their products would generally undercut the competition, and they would often have features that the competition didn't. However, the weakness was the build quality was often very poor, sometimes bloody appalling, to be honest with you, and sometimes they'd be missing sort of really basic features that other competitors had. But overall, you know, you could buy a cheap Amstrad telly and it would probably show you pictures. I think I've got one in the garage thinking about it. It's really shit. It's an old CRT and it was very poor and very cheap at the time. But some of the stuff was good. Amstrad CPC computers were excellent things. Again, had odd features that the other 8-bits didn't, and then sort of bizarrely fell down on other fronts. But overall, Amstrad is something that excites us British techie sort of people because it reminds us of sort of odd, innovative products. For instance, the Amstrad Penpad. Did I mention that? Now, looking at this, it's clearly an electronic Filofax. And in fact, that's it. That's literally all it does. You know, you can't play Snake on it or anything. This thing's from the early 90s. 1993, I think this was released. Obvious comparisons can be drawn with the Apple Newton, which was Apple's attempt at a sort of portable Filofax type thing with handwriting recognition. Yes, this does that as well, although not as it's being shown there. This predates the Apple Newton by about 6 months, I believe, and in fact was developed when nobody knew that Apple was making one. So it wasn't a case of, Apple are making something, quick, do a cheap one. You know, these people were really trying to innovate. And by gore blimey did they fail miserably, as we are about to discover. Are you sitting comfortably? Let's look at the box. £300! Oh, sorry, that was the price. £299 on release. Yep, £300 for an electronic Filofax. You would pretty seriously want to digitise your life in the early 90s. But hey, way ahead of its time. Got a touch screen, it's got handwriting recognition, you know, proper PDAs and digital assistants and all these other things that are now completely dead due to smartphones and stuff. Didn't really come into their own until sort of 2000, etc., when Palm and Compaq came on the scene more heavily. But anyway, let's have a look at this. Look, it says memory card. I wonder what that means. Upgradable to 2 megabytes. Wow. That's actually quite a lot of text, I suppose. Additional lithium battery backup. Oh, let's read them all, but no, generic stuff. The pen-based personal organiser that recognises your handwriting. You would work that out already. Oh, hang on, here we are. The list of features. From the top, address and telephone list with automatic sorting. Adressen und Telefonlist mit it's in many languages. Let's skip down to the next one. Everlasting diary with day or week per page view. Don't need an everlasting diary. I'm going to die one day. Fairly sure of that. To-do list with automatic diary entry. Oh, automatic. Notes for jottings, diagrams or maps. That's excellent, since nobody ever invented the pencil and paper. Information, preset and customisable conversion tables. That seems ridiculous now, doesn't it? Imagine currency conversion, something that isn't connected to the internet. But, you know, there virtually was no internet back when this thing came out. Anything on the bottom? No, I don't know. Now, point of interest about this, the outside box is a bit tatty, but when I got it off eBay for basically nothing, it was brand new. I mean, literally unopened. Nobody had ever opened it up and looked at it. This will become apparent as I show it to you, and actually, possibly not a good thing. But anyway, let's drag her out. It will also give you the reason I'm wearing these gloves. Right, we have a book that I have been thumbing through. User-friendly. Yeah, user-friendly. How many pages? No, I'm being completely unfair and lying, actually. It starts off in other languages, because it's a multilingual device. In fact, the English one is just this, and there's not actually that much text, and it is quite clearly written. So I would have said it is relatively user-friendly, despite doing a visual joke with the manual. Now, what other guff have we got? UK customers only, new product guarantee. Probably irrelevant. In fact, I'm fairly sure Amstrad don't actually exist anymore as such. Not as we understand it anyway. It's more than just an organiser, or less than just an organiser from what I recall. Thank you for choosing this quality Ooh, now we're talking. Stickers in multiple languages so you can remember which icons do what. Contrast, add page, calculator, boring and foreign, and I don't care. There's something about the lithium battery in the back, not particularly interested. Now we're talking. A couple of styluses, or styli? What is the multiple of stylus? Oh yeah, I don't give a shit. It's a big chunky thing that you use to tap a resistive touchscreen with. I'm sure you're probably familiar with that concept. Let's see the device itself, shall we? We could see the device itself, but it's more useful as a PDA. Now, here's one of the problems with having a device from the early 90s that's never been opened. It came with batteries, or Energizer batteries. Would have been quite expensive, I imagine. One of the reasons I'm, of course, wearing rubber gloves, or the minor reason at least, is because these are like 20 years old and are basically masses of corrosion held together by an Energizer logo. Let's put those back in, shall we? Thank God the person didn't put the batteries in, they'd never use it. Right, device itself. Oh, hang on, a couple of extra bits to show you. There's this. Let's see if we can get those out, actually. Oh no, they're jammed in there pretty good. Oh, it's getting fluff on the sofa. There's this. We make that out, a little bit of metal. And there's another bit of plastic stuck in there. What they are the pieces that fell off when I first opened it up. The clip broke and something pinged off the top. Although that could be due to a side effect of the age, which I will now show you. If I can ever actually get this out of the box. There we are. Right. There was a bit of a problem that was discovered long term with the old Penpad here, and that's that the rubber coating on it, over time, basically turns into a horrifying sticky goo. I thought it had some sort of weird reaction to the plastic bag it kept in due to heat or something, but apparently not. It literally just turns into like this horrible gluey mass. Which made it completely unusable. If you touch it with your bare hands, you can't get it off easily. You have to scrub with soap and stuff for like 5 or 10 minutes, and everything sticks. It's absolutely horrible. In order to make it even possible to review, I had to get a load of bloody nail varnish remover and use it to sort of, well, first of all I had to scrape off most of the goo, because it was about, 2 or 3 millimetres thick. Then pour a load of nail varnish remover over it to make it go away. And of course it's also horribly discoloured the plastic and made the logo go off, but if I didn't do that it would just be completely unusable. The back is still mostly sticky, as you can see. Came with a CR2032 battery for data backup purposes, due to it not being really any non-volatile RAM at the time, or if it was, it cost a bloody fortune and was only owned by the richest crowned heads of Saudi Arabia. I was going to say, yeah, the old one that was in there originally didn't corrode, I'm pleased to say, but it had one of those plastic things you pull out to stop it contacting, so that probably helped. It takes 3 AA batteries, marvellous. It has an expansion slot, which has this blanking card in, presumably that's where you put your 2 megabyte expansion thing. Here's where the stylus sticks on the back. I really do mean stick. Yeah, that can stay in there. I'll use a less sticky one, I think. And other than that, it's just a big chunky thing. Looks like a sort of weird plastic Filofax. Have I got something? Oh, I should have brought something I would contrast the size with, actually. Ah, hang on. Got my credit card, but I'm going to have to be careful, aren't I? If I put my thumb here, cover the expiry date and most of the numbers. Because I think the first 4 numbers are just the issuing bank or whatever. Here, look. Give you some idea of how big it is. Chunky. It's also fairly heavy, so it's not really something you'd want to be carrying around. It's heavier and chunkier than a Filofax, so it would have to have several killer apps for anyone to want to actually use it. You know what's coming, don't you? Anyway, let's open it up and have a look. Oh, it's all sticky on the inside as well. Here's the actual screen. Notice the Filofax style bindings at the side for graphic beauty, and lots of icons around that you can tap with your stylus. Right, can't put it off any longer. Let's turn it on. Beep it goes. Penpad, it's, oh dear, it's going to be very difficult to view actually. I had to put the contrast right up, and that was not easy. You tap the contrast thing and it seems to change at random. It's absolutely ludicrous. Right, I suppose I have to tell it to do something now. I have turned this on before, for the simple reason that you have to calibrate it to your handwriting and write each letter in little boxes when you first turn it on. So I've done all that. I haven't actually tried the handwriting recognition yet, but I have it on good authority. It doesn't work and never did, so wonderful. Right, what have we got then? Start at the bottom for no particularly good reason. A big I. Conversion. Oh, here we are. Can you actually see this? Oh dear, this is going to be difficult. It's really hard to see the screen with the naked eye, and the video camera's not having much luck with it either. Tell you what, I'm going to have a think about this and fiddle about some lighting. I shall be back in a moment. Well, I've just tried a bewildering array of camera angles and lighting systems, and pretty much all of them made the screen completely invisible. This seems to be the best way to do it, unbelievably. I have, however, changed my t-shirt from red to black, so that will be a little bit less jarring. Oh man, whose idea was this? Oh yeah, mine. I should point out to you, actually, that the screen is in fact just as hard to see in real life as it is through the camcorder. I've never seen such a reflective screen on anything, except that mobile phone that had a mirror for one when it was turned off. Okay, let's see if we can convert some degrees centigrade to degrees Fahrenheit, shall we? Oh, exciting. Oh, we've got to write the numbers in. That's a bit long-handed, isn't it? 1, 8. Please. Will this work? Has it picked up my handwriting? Oh, exciting. Yes, it has. Look, it's changed it to a 1 and 8. Superb. There we are, and now we know that that is 64.4 Fahrenheit. Presuming it's correct, I can't do that in my head, neither would I care to. What's next up? Notes. Oh, there we are. I can just write whatever I want. Yeah, I can't help feeling paper would be slightly superior in this sense. I'm going to draw a man with a nose and a gigantic scary smile. He's so happy that he's just paid £300 for his PDA600, look! His eyes are shiny. And in fact, it's a false smile put on to try and justify the cost to his wife. This is the eraser, I think. Looks like one. Yeah, there we are. Wow, priceless. What's a tick then? To-do list? Oh yeah, here we are. What's top of my to-do list? Oh my goodness. STP, stop this video. If only I could. And that has picked it up as 3 toff tuktz vtg. Yes, I honestly did calibrate this to my handwriting beforehand. I didn't do it in Russian or something. Oh, there we are. Now I can 3 toff to these vtg on the August the 4th. I should point out, actually, this doesn't have the correct date, has the correct time. Although it has the day August the 4th, which is when I'm reviewing this, or when I'm reviewing, well I suppose I am technically, when I'm filming this bit, it thinks it's 2001. Because at the start, when you have to select which month and year it is, you keep tapping and tapping and tapping and tapping, and of course it starts off at 1993. You have to go through it month by month and it's very slow. And I would in fact still be doing it now if I put in 2011. Plus, when they made this, I doubt they had even conceived of the space year 2011. But anyway, that's my to-do list. What's on the calendar? Oh, there's something on the to-do list for today. That's handy. What is it? Oh, 3 toff tukatas. I don't know why I'm surprised. I just wrote it. Okay, let's put somebody's address details in, shall we? Something incredible importance. That's the name, presumably. Name, line 1. Billy Muck Squig, which has come through as Billy. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. That's just perfect. Or was that a separate line for the surname there? That could be my fault, that bit. But I'm blaming that for the fact it hasn't recognised any of the fucking writing. Bloody hell. Where does Billy McSquig live? He lives at 17. Yep, it's put an F for the 7. I clearly put a line through my 7 when I did this. Nope, it picks it up as an F every time. Absolutely amazing. What if I did a normal 7? Nope, I was going to say it wouldn't, because when I told it what my 7s were like, it had a line through it. There we are, it's incapable of doing the number 7. Oh, and any words, apparently. And he lives on Bum Road. Or, as those put it on, Dupdada. Superb. I know they made jokes about the Apple Newton, but bloody hell. Go on, his number is... I'm going to put in all the numbers in order, actually, and see what they come out like. 0... Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why am I putting 10 in? It's not going to recognise 2 digits in 1. Okay, I apologise for that one. Go back one. Let's try the 1 again. Did that earlier, didn't it? Yeah, there we are. Well, it's pretty much come through as 0, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 6, 9, 8, 9. You know, if you're a businessman on the move and it's 1993, I'll tell you what you want. Anything but this. Go on, let's just see what's at the top as well, because this thing doesn't have many functions. That is the pre-mentioned contrast, where you can tap it for the rest of your life in the vein, hope you can see the screen. You won't. I haven't got a clue what that does. Oh, probably best to actually confirm that first. Oh. Home, office, mobile, fax, other. Who had a mobile back then? Other. That's the number you call for his space brain. Oh God, now I've got to put phone. 23. There we are. I don't know what it's asking for now. And it's put the 2 in as a C. That's just great. Oh, I see. I was supposed to tell off. No, because it was a. I'm confused as to what that was, and I refute your user-friendliness claims. Right. I really hope you can see the screen, because I bloody can't. Right, what does this one do? I don't know. I think that just takes you to like the next field or something, actually. I've just spat on the screen. That'll help. That was perhaps a physical Freudian slip there. What else have we got? Calculator. Wow. Really fully featured, look. At least we've got tap buttons and having to write the bloody things in. 12 times 3 equals 36. Yeah, oh look, it does a little adding machine output from it. Why aren't I dead? And desk thing at the top. Oh, good God, we've got a whole row of goodness knows what's. Clock, presumably. Yeah, 1438. That is correct. Good thing. Good. Well done. A picture of a cake. Oh God, birthdays. No, I'm not going to put in somebody's birthday. For starters, it'll call them and then claim that their birthday is the 84th day of October or something. There's several lines. That's always good. What is that for? Ah, thickness of pen for when you're drawing, I would assume. That makes sense. I'll go for the middle one, please, Bob. A world clock. Yeah. Go on then. What? But they're all the same. We will tell you the time in all places of the world, as long as all these places are in the same place. Yeah, what? It doesn't actually tell you which is which, does it? Can you make it do that? Ah, here we are, look, you can put in a name. So that one is the mighty French city of Paris. Or as the apartment... or Futfus. Futfus. Ah, yes. I remember that week we spent in Montmartre when we went to Futfus. Bloody hell. My patience is wearing thin for this thing. What is that? That looks like Apple's dashboard. That would be intriguing. You have to take my word for it. You probably can't see it. 98% free memory. You want to use 2% of the memory? That must be some system thing. Battery is good. Backup battery is good. And that appears to be it. What is that? A 1. Oh, that's just a calendar. Fair enough. There's a potentially useful thing. Shaking hands. Oh, this will be for meetings. You can put in for when you're meeting. When you go down to the... for a glass of... on the 48th day of blip, blip, blip. One of my favourite days, that. It's my sister's birthday. God knows what that is. Save, move documents or something. Can you actually take documents of this and put it onto something else? I don't think there's actually that option. It's gone weird. Not done now. That's not a very user-friendly bit. Please stop. Ah, it's gone now. Is that a zoom? Nope, it's a search. Search what piddly amount of data you can put in it. Alarm clock? Yeah. Put in different times, it will go beep. And, oh, that's nice. You can, don't know what those do. That'd be to recalibrate stuff. And English, French, Deutsch, Espanol. I'm going to have everything in Spanish now. ¿Y por qué no? Oh, well, yes, it's not actually going to change what I've written to Spanish, I suppose, is it? Or maybe it already did when I was writing it in. Who could possibly tell? It seems to have invented its own interesting alien language consisting mostly of clicks, spurges, and the letter G. Yeah, that's it really. I suppose I'll change it back to English for when I sell it for immense profit. Yeah, like this thing is even slightly saleable. It's comprised mostly of glue. And that's it. I don't think they ever released any other programs or anything for it. It was literally just supposed to... oh, good God, I actually can't put the stylus down. It's like a good book. Nope, it isn't. It's physically sticky. That's really horrible. Can you see the goo on the gloves there? No idea. It's probably the first thing you have been able to see in this video. Thanks, crap screen. I mean, that really is an astonishing device. When I mentioned on Twitter that I was reviewing this, several people got in touch saying, oh, I remember those. Oh, I had one of those. Oh, blimey. And all of them used either the exact word useless or a variation thereof. And I'll tell you what, they weren't bloody wrong. What a ridiculous failure of a device. I mean, people have been making jokes about the Apple Newton, but I think it stands head and shoulders above that. They're still both underwater in the cesspit, but hey, head and shoulders above. One interesting point, you know I said it was £300, which is of course ludicrously expensive, especially back in the early 90s. Well, why have so many people got in touch saying they had one? I shall answer this question. It was a massive failure, unsurprisingly. I mean, could you imagine going into a shop and them saying, hey, Mr. Business Bloke, you want to try our fantastic new electronic organiser? 5 minutes later, you've actually killed the salesman for insulting your intelligence. As a result of its massive failure, the entire stock, I believe, was bought up by Tandy, who were like the... were they the British arm of Radio Shack? Or did they just look like the British arm of Radio Shack? I honestly don't know. They don't exist anymore anyway, but they were sort of a... electronics and little bits seller, and they knocked them all out for 50 quid each. And even at 50 quid, I mean, it's useless, but I suppose it's a bit of a toy, isn't it? But I think what people thought was, my goodness, that was £300 last week, now I can pick it up for £50. Intriguingly, when they were selling them for 300, they didn't make much money on them. The profit margin was relatively small due to the cost. I mean, these things intrinsically, when they were making them, cost them about £100 just for the parts. You know, I think that included the licensing of the handwriting engine, which wasn't something they developed, something they licensed off somebody else. And then by the time you've figured in all the horrendous costs of shipping it around and marketing and all that sort of guff, and the retailers took his amount, blah, 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 that Amstrad were making a very small cut on each one of these at £300. And the vast majority was sold for 50. So there's a thought for you, eh? There we are. That is Amstrad's worst device. No, it isn't. It's in the bottom 3 of the ones I know about. I don't claim to be an expert on Amstrad, but the 3 really bad things they did are this, which we have covered in detail, the GX4000, which was a version of their 8-bit Amstrad CPC computer with fantastic hardware upgrades and stuff. It was basically like the computer with some extra chips stuck in a sort of, without a keyboard, in a sort of games console box that you connected to your television and was sold as a games console. Problem was, I think they only released a tiny handful of expensive game cartridges for it, and the vast majority of the cartridges were just complete straight ports of existing Amstrad CPC games that you could pick up on tape for like £3, literally, and they were selling them for 30 or something. That, again, was a massive flop, but the thing that pisses me off about it is that it never actually worked properly. The power supplies for them blew up. I mean, really blew up. As in, it's extremely hard to get hold of a working GX4000. Guru Larry collects Amstrad stuff, and I don't even know if he's got a working one. That's how bad it is. You use them for a bit, they blow up. One of the least reliable electrical items ever sold. Very rarely does Alan Sugar bring that up on The Apprentice. And yeah, that was a massive failure and sold out in Dixon's for 15 quid or something by the end of it. I think probably the worst thing entirely was the Sinclair PC200. Called Sinclair, but Sinclair had been bought by Amstrad at that stage. It was actually an Amstrad product. It was basically an IBM PC, but it was ludicrously outdated by the time it was released. Like, laughably so. You know, here's an obsolete computer, please buy it. It used CGA graphics on release, and this was when EGA was the standard, and VGA was then coming in to sort of replace it as the standard. And it's CGA. I don't know if you know anything about computer video display modes from yesteryear, but it's the equivalent of Nintendo releasing a new console next year with graphics worse than the NES, and expecting it to compete with the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Actually, knowing Nintendo, they probably will do that, and you'll control it by sticking your feet in a bowl of rice or something. But anyway, let's get back to this. Oh yeah, it's rubbish.